Welcome to the April edition of The Stories We Tell. I am sitting here with Dr. Sandy Husk, who for some reason is sitting in Portland, Oregon right now. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But Sandy, I just love following your leadership across the nation. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Christina, and I love following yours. And we've got a sunny day, and you're right over the river. We should
Oh,
really
it's
be.
it's gorgeous here in the
It
Pacific
is.
Northwest these days, isn't it?
Yes, it sure is. It's great to be here.
So, you have this tremendous background. You've been a superintendent, I believe, three times over.
Mhm.
Let's see if I remember this correctly. I know you were in Tennessee. I believe you were in Colorado,
Right.
and you were in Oregon before as well, in the Salem Kaiser district. And now you are back in
I am
Oregon.
back.
How did that happen? What's that about?
Well, after I left Salem, I went to Avid for 8 years, and I was wrapping that up. We kept our home in Oregon, even though I was working in San Diego. We kept our home here. And so I was wrapping that up, and ASCD called. I was on their board, and the CEO quit. And they said, "Would you do an interim?" And I was wrapping that up. And of course, we merged with ISTE. That was March of 23. And so for 9 months, for the first time since I was 20, I didn't have full time work. I still had plenty of things to do, but not a full time assignment. And so in December, when the Portland board called and said, we need an interim, I thought, oh my gosh, do I want to do that? And I immediately went in to talk to my husband. And he said, kind of what I was thinking, which is, you're really committed to the state, the work, what to do, and we live here and they need you. So I think you should do it. So that's how the process got started, with a very quick conversation.
So I'm starting to get a new theme here for your life. So you did an interim with ASCD, and I think you served on that board for a number
Yeah,
of years. And
yeah.
now you're doing an interim in Portland. And so is this a new line of work for you?
No. In fact, on Friday, when we had a lot of things boiling and hopping, we had a student walk out, and kind of a one of those days you don't love as a superintendent, but you know how to make sure everybody stays safe. I was talking to a friend of mine who also retired, and then he went back in to do an interim. And he said, nothing convinces you that you don't need to be doing the job full time after an interim. So this is a lovely experience. The people are so talented. The kids are wonderful. The community's got a lot of strength in it. And I don't need to be doing this full time anymore, but I am committed to doing it through the end of June.
But you've had three superintendencies, you've been in this professional association's really wonderful ASCD, and you've done AVID for just, I think, under 10 years. That's where I really knew your work, and you
Yeah.
just were a tremendous national leader around advancing the opportunities for our young people in this nation. So you do have the background to come into a complex school system like the Portland Public Schools.
Mhm.
There's also a wonderful school district with just amazing leaders. So this is a great interim for you. What do you hope to accomplish while you're there?
Well, I have been telling the staff and the board, I think the best contribution I can give is leadership, culture, and communication. Because there is so much talent in the district and there is a lot of work to be done. But they're doing that hard work and they're making things happen. So what I hope to do is to get through some of these situations like the budget reduction, some of the other things that we're doing to support the community, but really tee it up for the next person to come in and to know that this is a great district you're walking into, and that the handoff will be smooth with a lot of support from the board, the community, and the staff, and from me. I'm just over the hill, over the mountains here, so I won't be leaving the state. And if they need some follow-up conversations, I'm happy to do that.
So I understand that the goal is to have someone on board permanent sometime in the summer, perhaps, certainly as quickly as possible. We've certainly have seen some news announcements from the board chair and board members around really leaning in quickly to get a permanent leader in place. But there's been some things that have happened that has put Portland Public Schools on in the national kind of limelight and media front around the relationships with teachers and the strike in the fall. What are the results now? How are you as the leader looking at how do you move on, stay focused on students, stay focused on the great district that Portland is, and move forward?
I think that's where the experience really helps. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's about your integrity, it's about relationships, and it is about what you know and how you do the work. But people here really care about the school district. They care about the children in this community. And I think one of the nice things about coming in as an interim is I'm not holding on to those feelings from the strike. You know, I wasn't personally involved in it. So lifting up with a voice around enthusiasm and mission and vision and, you know, how much talent is here. That's what I mean by leadership, communications, and culture. You know, let's think about what we have, right? We have visual and performing arts in I think almost every single building. We have amazing athletic programs. We have strong academic programs. It's a busy place, and so my message is to keep people's vision up and focused forward and putting all the support we can around kids and families.
And so as you think about the work that you're doing now and the fact that you have lots of choices and options for where you want to be serving and leading, as you think, a few months from now, you'll be handing the reins over to a permanent CEO, superintendent, to lead Portland Public Schools. What does this mean for you as you think about where you want to continue to show up and have impact?
Yeah. I think what the advantage I've had over my career is that I've been able to really focus on specific states, but I've also had a really good national perspective. And so I'm enjoying what I was doing during those 9 months. I hope to go back to, serving on boards, supporting entrepreneurs, supporting people coming into the profession. And there are different ways that I feel like I can do that. Staying connected with your organization is one of them, Christina. That's why I'll be there physically with you in June. And really excited about that. Just not having
I'm thrilled that you're coming to the conference and you're going to be with 250 amazing women leaders from across the country. Yeah. And how much fun is that going to be?
Yeah, and I was teasing a little and saying, and I'd like to do it without having to set the alarm for 5 a.m. every morning.
I don't blame you at all. So as we kind of wrap up here and you reflect on the work that you have done, are you in a joyful space?
I am. I really feel like every time I changed positions, my desire was to be able to make a difference through adults, because I've been doing the top seat now for 7 years, something like that, through adults so that we can make a difference for students and families. And I feel like I've done that. I feel like there's a lot more work to do. So let's focus on the next crew coming up and how do we shore them up and keep them motivated as well.
Well, Sandy, as a colleague and friend and someone that I have admired for your national work and your just pure passion in serving our young people in this nation, I thank you for your leadership and thank you for being with us today.
It's mutual. Thank you too, Christina.